here, Eric.
Hey
And
guys.
Eric Metz, and I want to go over just a few things before we get started. Um, for those of you that aren't aware of it, Promise Resource Network has a warm line. Let me get over there. Has a warm line that you can call 24/7, holidays, all the time. If you need to talk to someone, if you need to vent, if you need some resources, you need some help, some support, call us. We're here. We're here 24/7. Okay. The number is 833-390-7728. All right. Another number that I have for you is our front desk number. If you want to talk to someone specifically, call our front desk. Kim will answer the phone and she will take care of you, get the message to whoever you need to get it to. And our front desk number is 704-390-7709. Give Kim a call and she'll help you out. All right, let's get started. I want to come back to my seat. First of all, so you can see Eric. All right. So today's topic is anger. Dun, dun, dun. And anger, learning about anger helped me so much. Helped me understand that it's purposeful, right? Helped me understand that I wasn't bad, that I wasn't somehow deficient because I had these anger issues. And I can tell you what we're going to go over today helped me a great deal. And I'm hoping it helps you too. So, some issues, some things that I want you to think about. If these apply to you, um, as some of them apply to me, we may have an issue with anger. It says we blow up at others. We often criticize others, feel angry but can't express it, have impulses to harm others, never feel angry. That's another one, never feeling angry. We hate ourselves. We often isolate when we're angry. We feel bitter and resentful. Um, we may have impulses to harm ourselves, and others may have said we had an anger problem. Now, that's always a fun one when somebody tells you you got an anger problem. So, if any of these apply to you, then maybe it's something we need to look at, right? So, there are two types of anger. There's constructive anger and destructive anger. It says it's important to know that anger is not bad or wrong. Rather, it's information that can be used either to help or harm our recovery. It can be used constructively to help us heal, to be honest with others, to face our pain, or it can be used destructively to act out against yourselves and others, to give up, to become bitter. Anger itself is not a problem, it's what we do with it. Anger itself is not a problem, it's what we do with it. Anger is good. Let me tell you that anger is good. It causes change, right? When we use it effectively, anger can cause change in our lives that is positive, right? We've always got that choice. What are we going to do with our anger? Are we going to do something that's positive, or are we going to do something that's going to cost us something, right? So, poor Eric's not getting to talk at all. I'm sorry. I'm just going over a few things and then we'll get to talking. Okay, constructive anger, anger that heals, would be like on that scale from 1 to 10 they always ask you about, around a 5. Just chill, not too angry, not too much of anything. Anger is explored to understand ourselves and others better. We can take a look at it to see what's going on. It's conscious. We're aware of it. Remember that one, never feel angry? We're aware of our anger, and that's a positive thing. It's handled well, and it's respectful of our own and others' needs. We're going to talk about needs in a minute, right? So, Eric, will you read the for example?
Absolutely. For example, if you go out on a date and the other person acts selfish, you might rightly feel angry. If you listen to your anger, you can use it as a sign to protect yourself. Perhaps you can talk to the person about what bothers you, or you can calmly end the day early. You can feel good about using your anger constructively.
Absolutely. We can use that anger constructively. I can use it to protect myself from people that would harm me, protect myself from things. I want to be able to use my anger effectively, right? It says there are great benefits for constructive anger. It can help us protect from danger, convey insights about ourselves and others, and give us real power. I teach a class on Fridays called Keep Your Power, and that's all about keeping your power. And that's what happens when we're angry. When I'm angry and I use it constructively, it's positive. I
Absolutely.
keep my power, right? When I am not handling it very well, my power seeps out of me. 9 times out of the 10, it goes to the other person. So I want to hold on to my power as much as I can. Because remember, there are two things we can control: our attitudes and our behaviors. And that applies directly to anger. All right, let's get to destructive anger. It's acted out in dangerous behavior. It's too intense. That scale from 0 to 10, it's too intense. It's underground, quietly seething or feeling bitter. That's that one that can get you. And it's unconscious. That underground or unconscious anger. What do you think about that, Eric?
I would agree with that because if you don't express it, you're bottling it up, and that can be real dangerous for you and others.
It's physically
Yeah,
dangerous. Anger causes stress. Constructive anger causes stress. Constructive and destructive anger
right.
causes stress. Sorry. But if I look at it, if I keep it in me, if I swallow this anger and swallow this anger, I'm going to get a wound. And it needs to be treated. It needs to be treated. So when I'm in the destructive anger mode, I need to look at these things. Am I acting out? Am I seething? Am I just bitter, resentful? That's an indication that there's something going on, right? Uh, there are great costs to destructive anger. It can destroy relationships, cause physical harm, weaken us, become an addiction. It can become an addiction. Whatever we think becomes words, our words become behaviors, our behaviors become habits, our habits become our character. So I want to be able to choose what I'm using, right? I don't want anger to turn into something that I can't control, that controls me. Um, would you read the next one, Eric?
Sure.
Destructive.
Destructive anger can be directed towards yourself and or directed toward others. Both represent a lack of balance between your own and others' needs. For some people, both are present.
Yeah. It's about our needs. That's what it
Yeah,
always comes down to, our needs.
absolutely.
Well, if I'm not getting my needs met, I'm going to be angry. I better be angry. I've heard if you ain't angry, you ain't paying attention. That is true
Absolutely.
because we need to be angry about certain things. Injustice for ourselves and others. All those things that hold us back as individuals and as a society. It is good. It is good to get our needs met. We've got to, or it causes a lot of issues. All right, destructive anger towards ourselves, putting others' needs too much ahead of us. When I put somebody else's needs ahead of mine and I don't get my needs met, I'm going to get angry, right? I'm going to get angry about it. Destructions towards others, putting our needs too much ahead of others, where it's all about me. I'm self-centered, and nobody could tell me that I'm wrong. Nobody can tell me that your needs are as important as mine, right? It's when we figure out what those needs are and go from there to figure out how to get those needs met. Let's see. Down below, it says anger is normal in recovery from post traumatic stress disorder and substance use. If we've been through a terrible experience of trauma and substance use, anger is inevitable. We may feel angry at people who hurt us, at the world, at God, at ourselves, at life, at people that serve, at family, at strangers. Our anger is valid and real. The goal is to use your anger to learn more about ourselves and to grow. The task is to face our anger without letting it destroy us or others. I know for myself that part of my experience with post-traumatic stress disorder was an anger issue, was a serious anger issue. And it wasn't until I looked at those things and looked back at what my needs were, what was going on in me, so I could address that anger. Because it was just, I was full, you know? Have you ever experienced that?
Yeah, a lot different than in my younger days than it is now. It's definitely more controlled now.
Yeah.
Um, but it definitely is a process. Because I really have to, if I get upset, especially when it's helping the underdog or somebody like that, then there really isn't a good handle on it. It's probably going to get elevated
Yeah.
and probably make somebody feel uncomfortable, but that's all right because in those instances, it's made somebody else uncomfortable. So I don't know that that's a destructive.
Well, if it causes change, if it can cause an influence
Right.
towards positive, towards good.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Can you read the next one, Eric?
I sure can. So, behind all anger are unmet needs. Anger is a signal that something is wrong. It may mean that you are not taking enough care of yourself, or you have a lot of sadness to work through, or that you are in a harmful relationship. Listening to your anger and caring for your underlying needs can resolve anger.
Absolutely can resolve anger. If I get those needs met, I'm not going to be as angry. I want you to I need to think about what it would be like for me if I didn't have my basic needs met, if I didn't have safety, a place to stay, food to eat, water, those kind of things. I guarantee I'm going to be mad. I'm going to walk around pissed off,
Right.
because that isn't fair and it's very difficult. Our needs aren't met. And when our needs aren't met, we can get into that destructive behavior, right? Can you read the next one?
Sure. Constructive anger can be learned. It is never too late, no matter how long you've had a problem with anger. Mainly, it requires really listening to others, feedback about your anger, owning your feelings rather than acting them out, expressing anger in healthy ways, and learning to tolerate the painful feelings behind the anger.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think I've told this story before, and for those of you that have heard it, please excuse me. We can learn anything. Any action can be learned, I believe, if we try hard enough, if we've got the support we need and we've got the means to do it, we can learn anything. Just think about a 3-year-old kid. Sneezes, that goes everywhere, right? It's nasty. Mama says, cover your face. Sneeze, cover your face. Sneeze, mama says, cover your face. Well, that thousandth time, the kid goes to sneeze and the hand goes up. It's an automatic response because I've practiced it so often. It becomes natural to me. And that is how we learn. We learn from the support of others, from the means to do it, from our motivation. And I can learn how to constructively use my anger, right? anger is good. I want to get that across. Anger is good. Anger causes change in us and in the world. Okay? So, like the example that was given earlier, if you're out on a date and the person's being rude and obnoxious, it'll probably make you angry, but you don't have to deal with that. Constructive anger uses that opportunity to inform that person that you don't like how they're behaving. I feel disrespected when you talk to me in that tone, right? So we want to be able to learn how to use that anger, right? As an individual to take up for our rights, for what we feel we need, right? Our unmet needs. In society where we hold up the signs, right? And say, we want things different. They've got to be different. So anger is good. Anger is good. Let's see. Down at the bottom it says, destructive anger never works in the long run. We may get results in a short term. People may do what we want. We may feel powerful in a moment. It's only later that we can see how this is only an illusion. Destructive anger spins out of control and weakens our bonds with others. It weakens it. Destructive anger never works in the long run, right? I may get what I need. I personally need on a daily basis peanut butter Oreos. It's a need, right? If I don't get my Oreos at the store, I'm going to get mad, right? I want to be able to do something different, because if I blow up, I may get my cookies, but I will not be able to eat them on the way to jail, right? They're going to call somebody on me. So it never works in the long run. When we blow up at other people, it just takes away from our bond with them. There are 3 ways that we can heal anger. Heal. That's a big word. Heal anger. The 3 ways are before, during, and after. Things we can do before we get angry. Things we can do during that anger period. And things we can do afterwards to use that emotion constructively. Let's see. Observe the cost of our anger. When we are talking about before, I want to think about what anger has cost me in the past, right? I want to think about how I've been used and abused by my anger and what it took away from me, right? You can jump in it.
Yeah. On the flip side of that, constructive anger gives you a voice, and it gives you the ability to communicate with people in a new way, so that they know your line, you know your line, and you do it respectfully, so that you don't damage a friendship or damage a work relationship. So
it can cost a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
It really can. It can cost relationships, jobs, housing, our lives. Our lives. So we need to think of the cost of our anger, right? Would you read the next one, Eric?
I can. So get feedback about your anger. Hearing how others view your anger problem can give you important information. Becoming defensive or dismissing feedbacks keep you stuck. You do not have to agree with others, but listen very carefully before you decide what's true.
Sometimes people see us better than we see ourselves.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And that feedback is important. I need to know what I'm like when I'm angry so I can think through, right? I am not pleasant. I don't think anybody is when they're in the throes of anger, when they're in that destructive anger mode. So we want to be able to listen to others so we don't have to go there, right? If Eric tells me, girl, when I see you do this, it just freaks me out. Your anger is outrageous. You need to get some help with that, right? That'll indicate to me, well, first of all, it'll make me mad,
Right.
but
So,
it'll anger me.
right. So be quiet in those moments.
Be quiet. I don't
when they
care.
tell you.
Yeah, just get the feedback.
Yep.
Get the information. It may be true. It may not be true. Get the information, and then decide for yourself what works for you. What works for you.
And be reflective. You don't have to think about that right in the instance after somebody's told you that. But, wait a little while and then sit back and through the eyes of somebody else. Okay, so this is what they're saying this looks like and it doesn't look good. Well, think about that and think about how your anger was in that moment and how you could have looked and how you could have been seen. That person is probably giving you correct information. So it's important to reflect on that and be okay with it.
Yeah. Sometimes we
Not
can't
defensive.
see ourselves,
Right.
and it does take a minute of self-reflection to go, okay, yeah, I do that. Yeah, when I'm feeling this way, I act a certain way. Next thing is notice whom your anger hurts. Ourselves, our partners, our children, our therapy relationship. Anger scares people, even if they can't tell us that. See others' pain, the hurt on a child's face, the partner who becomes quiet. If you're feeling empathy for someone, you cannot simultaneously harm that person. If I am feeling compassion and empathy for someone, I cannot simultaneously harm that person. If I can see that person as a human, if I can see that person as somebody I don't want to hurt, because when we cut someone, we can't uncut them. Think about words. Words cut, and they become scars. And we carry those scars, right, until we can get them healed. We want to be able to choose. I don't want to cut anybody today. I don't want my words to be harsh today. Because I know, you probably know, those words get stuck.
Absolutely.
Those words get stuck. Those vicious attacks are personal and it changes us. So notice who our anger hurts. Because for me, it usually hurts somebody I don't want to hurt at all. Sometimes it seems like we take our anger out on the people that we love the most.
Right. And we take it to the next level, thinking that they can handle it, and because we have that relationship with them. But in fact, it's 100 times worse to do that. These are relationships, especially if it's family oriented. You can't get rid of the situation. Well, you can get rid of the situation, you just can't get rid of your family. So that's going to carry on, and that's going to strain that relationship, and that may change it completely.
Yeah. It affects things and it infects things.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Let's go to the next page. Here's something that I use, not necessarily for anger. Well, I guess for anger, but more for a soothing thing. It says, carry a physical reminder of how destructive your anger can be. For example, a photo of someone you've hurt with your anger, or a list of hospitalizations we've had because of suicidal thinking. And I carry a rock, an amethyst, because I like amethyst. And one side is rough. And when I am angry or upset or whatever, I do that rough side. So it reminds me what I had to lose. And when I'm in a good space and just need some soothing, but I'm not angry, I use the other side, the smooth side, and it just calms me. so you can get something to remind you how anger affects us, what anger costs us. What is that thing that you can slip in your pocket? For some of us in the 12-step rooms, it might be a chip or a keychain. Something I can put my hand in my pocket and go, I don't want to lose what I've got today over being angry about this situation. Mountains out of molehills. I do that as well. I make mountains out of molehills. And I want to have something that can remind me, that can bring me back from that little anger adventure that I'm on. Let's see. Get rid of weapons until we're safe to have them. Keeping weapons that can be used against ourselves or others is dangerous. Until we express our anger in constructive ways without acting out, it's essential to keep our environment free as possible of weapons. They are disasters waiting to happen. Any means that we have to harm ourselves or others should be looked at. When I am in the throes of destructive anger, I lose my power. And I may do things that don't benefit me, right? I want to be able to be safe. I just want to be able to be safe. And sometimes I'm not safe for myself, right? So let's see. Next week, we're going to go over what we can do during anger and what we can do after anger. I want to remind us, me too, Eric too,
Me too.
that anger is good. Anger is good. Don't believe what they told you when you were a kid. Don't be angry. Be angry. But use it to shift something. Use it to advocate for something. Use it against injustice, whether it's individually or as a group in society. Use your anger, but use it wisely. Use it wisely, because it can be effective. I'm going to see if we got any chat. Eric, you got any words of wisdom?
No, I mean, you said you had a worry rock, and sometimes what I like to do to calm myself down is think of a color and a smell.
Oh,
So,
nice.
and also you sit in that moment of quietness, and I envision, for me, a peaceful color, which is purple. So then, once I'm comfortable with that, I go with a smell.
Yeah.
And what is a relaxing smell to me is lavender. So I put both of those into place so I can see it in my head, and then I can actually smell the lavender if I give it enough thought and think about it. And by the time I've gotten to that point, whatever's irritated me, annoyed me, I feel less stressed about. I mean, and I've used this a lot of times in traffic, just
Oh,
because
yeah.
I'm a bad road rager. So, I mean, it's definitely a technique that's helped me.
Yeah, definitely. Well, that's cool because we've got to have a plan, and that's a big before too. If I'm going someplace I know I'm going to get pissed off, I need to have a plan
Right.
because I don't want to go there today. So if I've got a plan of action that includes several different things I can pull from, so I don't have to go where I've been before, have a multitude of tools so that you can use them against destructive anger. Let me see who we got on here. Wow, we got a lot of folks,
Uh-oh.
and I can't get to any of them. Oh. Wow. Roberta's here, Kim's here, Tanisha.
Oh,
Nice, Roberta. All right. All right, Roberta. We sat down with Sharon one day, and it helped deal with my anger. Nice. Hi, everybody from Kim. Some of us have a more difficult time than others. Boy, you guys are great. Zeri, I appreciate all this input. And it's all about how we deal. How we deal. You know, so many examples of when I lost it and what I lost. And other examples of how to hold it together. How to hold on to our power enough that we can be successful in our actions and in our attitudes. Remember, those are the only two things we can control. Anger comes out of me when I try to control another individual too. It's impossible to control anybody but yourself. I hate that.
Amen.
People just do what they're supposed to do. Anyway, I thank y'all for coming today. I thank Eric for helping me out. Thank you for participating. It helps us. It really does. Go out there and have a fabulous Thursday.
All right, guys. Have a great day.
See you later. Almost there. Here we go.